What if the United States and Russia went to nuclear war? Imagine waking up to the sound of your phone vibrating relentlessly. Breaking news, emergency alerts, confusion. Within minutes, every television channel, every radio station, and every screen on Earth is broadcasting the same terrifying headline. A nuclear war has begun. At first, it doesn't feel real. People stop in the middle of busy streets. Airports freeze. Financial markets collapse within moments. Parents rush to find their children. Millions refresh their news feeds, hoping the next update will say it was all a mistake. But it isn't. Decades of political tension have finally crossed the point of no return. The world's two largest nuclear powers have entered the most dangerous conflict in human history. And suddenly, one question echoes across the planet. What happens next? The first hours would unfold at unimaginable speed. Military commands would race to understand what was happening. Governments would struggle to communicate. Entire nations would hold their breath as every decision carried consequences unlike anything humanity has ever faced. The destruction would be almost impossible to comprehend. Major cities could suffer catastrophic damage. Critical infrastructure would fail. Communication networks would be disrupted. Hospitals would face overwhelming pressure. Millions of lives could change forever in a matter of hours. But the explosions would only be the beginning. As fires burned across vast urban areas, enormous amounts of smoke and soot could rise high into the atmosphere. Some scientists warn that enough of this material could block part of the sun's light, lowering global temperatures and shortening growing seasons. This possibility, often called nuclear winter, could threaten food production far beyond the countries involved, affecting people across the entire world. The consequences would ignore borders. Supply chains would break. Food would become scarce. Energy systems would struggle. Global trade could grind to a halt. Even countries thousands of miles from the conflict would feel the shockwaves through their economies, healthcare systems, and daily lives. Then comes the question everyone asks: who wins? The uncomfortable answer is perhaps no one. The United States and Russia each possess the ability to respond even after suffering devastating attacks. For decades, this reality has formed the foundation of nuclear deterrence. The idea that launching a large-scale nuclear strike would almost certainly trigger catastrophic retaliation. In such a scenario, even the country that suffered fewer losses would still face immense destruction, economic collapse, environmental damage, and years, perhaps decades, of recovery. Victory would become an empty word. The cost would simply be too great. This is why, despite crises, confrontations, and moments when the world has stood dangerously close to disaster, leaders have generally worked to prevent nuclear conflict from becoming reality. Because once that line is crossed, there is no easy way back. History has witnessed countless wars. Empires have risen. Empires have fallen. Civilizations have rebuilt after unimaginable destruction. But a full-scale nuclear war would represent something fundamentally different, a global catastrophe whose consequences would reach far beyond any battlefield. Perhaps the most remarkable fact is this: the world's nuclear weapons have existed for generations, yet they have remained unused in war for decades. Not because they are weak, but because everyone understands how unimaginably powerful they are. In the end, humanity's greatest hope has never been winning a nuclear war. It has always been making sure one never begins, because some chapters in history are too devastating to ever be written.